Let me roll up to the mic and take a look here. We are here for Agency Power Hour number 11. How is everybody doing today? With me, as always, is Keith Gaitan. Say hello.
Hello, bienvenidos todos.
And I believe John and Lena are traveling for some conventions. I think he's in Vegas. He may or may not join us, but today is going to be a brief call, 45 minutes, because we do have a dealership Easy Money Machine call at 8:15. We left the link there in the chat box. So if you guys want to join us and have some questions about sales text chat, feel free to do so. Of course, last week we had to cancel. I called Keith literally like maybe a couple hours the day before we were going to start, and I was like, man, there's no way my son's like really, really sick. I think he's got the bad flu, and he's like, well, so does my son. I'm like, oh my God. So we ended up having to cancel last week. We apologize, everybody, but we're back on track, feeling good. Got all the flu out of our veins, and we are ready to rock. We have been doing a lot of work during this time since we last talked to you, but the most importantly is we got TxTria is now live and in effect. So Keith is reporting to us today from Mexico, right?
Yes, I am. I am Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
And
that is my locale.
He is sitting inside of a hotel room while his family is enjoying the
pool. Yeah, exactly. But that's par for the course. I've been in my hotel room most of the day doing support and training as usual, which is okay. And then I run out. I think I had a taco and hung out with my kids for about an hour today. But that's okay. They get it. They know. They understand. They're having fun. Everybody
needs a break, right?
Especially them. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, but I mean, Ed's not kidding about the kids being sick. I spent 2 hours on that Tuesday cleaning my van from my son hurling all over the place while we were driving to go pick up his sisters from school.
That must have been a very aromatic trip down to Mexico.
Oh, well, no, the van was clean by then, but it was horrific when I had to pick up my girls from school, and they were like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, he hurled on the way here. And I had just finished cleaning the van earlier that morning after dropping them off to school when he hurled all over the van. Luckily, I have, what do you call those, WeatherTech mats? Mm-hmm. So it was all over him, his car seat, and the WeatherTech mats. I got it all cleaned. It took about 2 hours. That's when we talked, and I said, yeah, I'm just slammed with this, and I don't know what's going on. And then sure enough, went to go pick him up, and usually I pick my kids up, and I get back and get them settled to do this webinar. And at that point, it was cleanup time again for another 2 hours out of the van. So, yeah, it was not pleasant.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen Family Guy where one of them vomits, all of a sudden they all start vomiting. It's kind of like the same way here. It's like we all had to separate for a couple days because we didn't want to see each other even in the motion of being sick, because it would make everybody else sick. All right, so let's get
it's like the movie Stand By Me with the pie eating contest. Anyone who's seen the movie Stand By Me and the pie eating contest, it's that.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Well, we try to bring entertainment as well as knowledge and answer your questions. So on to the knowledge base.
All right, so last week was supposed to be the official launch of TxTria, but I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger now. Many of you have already joined us and hopped on board, which is okay. You've probably started seeing some things change in the back office. We are constantly adding new things. So kind of take you through a quick tour here of TxTria so you guys can get acclimated and start saving some money. So on your dashboard here, some of you might not see this. This does not take effect until after you guys have put in your funding source. You get this special offer here. So this will be the price when you guys add the funding source that you guys will be locked in at. And then you have another option here where you can lock in a rate. every single month. And what this allows you to get, obviously you get lower pricing on everything, but it also allows you to get free SMS. So your first batch of, for example, on this tier 2 pricing, your first 3,000 texts will be free. And if you choose tier 3 pricing, your first 6,000 texts will be free. So we left those options available to you. They are available for 14 days once you add a funding source. Now, it does disappear and go away, and there's a very good reason behind it, because we want to make sure you guys are locked into the lowest rates. What's happening here is the industry is kind of gravitating towards using SMS pools and toll-free numbers, and SMS pools containing toll-free numbers. So with that said, we're going to start implementing SMS pools, hopefully be done by Monday. So I'm kind of going to explain to you why SMS pools are important, and let's compare it to short code for one thing. Obviously with short code, you get this larger cost, but you also get guaranteed SMS. So I want to convey to you a couple secrets. And you guys have probably seen me on some of the message boards out there just fighting people over their facts that they state about the industry of short codes and long codes and 800 numbers. Because I've spoken and speak to daily people close to the switch that know exactly how the industry works, especially when it comes to 800 numbers and long codes. So many of you are probably acclimated to using long codes through Twilio. You probably also know that they have you rate limited at 1 per second. So you might ask yourself, okay, that must be like an industry standard. Well, here's the truth to everything. It's not the carriers that are rate limiting you, it's Twilio. And they're trying to do that to protect your phone number. We're doing it as well, because the limits right now for a long code before you totally burn it up, fry it, flip it, and throw it away is about 400 texts per day. Now, for those of you on short code, it doesn't affect you. You can send as much as you want, as fast as you want, and you can send whatever you want, as long as it doesn't fall within those categories of drugs, hate speech, and all that other stuff. But long codes, on our side, we do have the ability to send it unlimited per second, but we would never allow you to do that, because essentially you would just burn up your long code in under a few minutes. So it is 1 per second. So let me kind of gravitate towards 800 numbers. 800 numbers are very I would say it's become increasingly popular, because what's happening is because people in companies are having issues sending SMS with their long codes. And I have a great example I can tell you. A company hit us up the other day. They have about 4,000 clients, and each one of those clients has one phone number to service all their customers. And they've totally shut down adding new business, because only about 40 to 50% of their texts are getting delivered because they're using long codes. So what we're doing is we're creating them an SMS pool comprising of 800 numbers, which is going to alleviate all those problems for them and get them back on track so they get new business. They haven't even been looking for new business for over 3 months, because their customers or their client base is complaining daily that none of their customers are getting text messages. So 800 numbers, what you should know about 800 numbers: number one, it's a totally separate network. Number two, you cannot send MMS with an 800 number. It doesn't matter what company you're at, you cannot send an 800. You cannot send MMS with 800 number. But first, I'll tell you a trick around that. If you're sending your customers to a page from a link, as long as you have OG tags that has an OG image on it, on that page, OG tags are really popular with Facebook shares and all that stuff. OG tags is now like the industry standard for social. So now, if you have that image, now when that link displays on a message box of the customer, it's going to show the image. So it's almost like getting a free MMS if you really think about it. The next thing with 800 numbers, yes, the sending is a little more expensive. The cost per long code or per toll-free number is more expensive. But at the end of the day, it is cheaper than short code, and the deliverability of a toll-free number versus a short code is very comparable, and I'll say this, to even better. I have been told from my anonymous sources, where we heard that before, I have been told by my anonymous sources that one toll-free phone number can send 60,000 SMS a day. So think about that. You got a loan code that you're paying in TxTria, for example, you're paying 65 cents, and now you're paying an extra 25 cents for a toll-free, and you're only paying a few extra cents more to send with a toll-free, still cheaper than a short code, but still you're guaranteeing delivery, and you're almost guaranteeing yourself that you're not going to get your 800 number banned. And keep in mind, sending with the 800 number, there's still rules that are applied. Always work with compliance. Always identify yourself at the beginning of the text message. For example, brackets, company name brackets, then your message, and always end your message with a reply stop to quit. So long as you keep everything compliant on your side, don't send spammy text messages, your 800 number will get some great longevity and make all of your clients happy. Let me check out some questions here. Scott says, stupid Scott's in the house. Oh man, me and Scott went back and forth. Hey, I'll explain it later. Do the unused texts roll over from month to month? No, they do not roll over. So it's your first 3,000 texts every month. Your first 6,000 texts every month are free. How would TxTria work for Australia? Well, Dan, if you're working with customers in the United States and Canada, it's a win-win. We are working with some providers right now, negotiating some pricing so we can bring international numbers to you. We want to be able to provide the best deals. We don't want to provide pricing that's equal to Twilio because it just wouldn't make any sense. You guys would just keep your Twilio account. So it has to be worth everybody's while for us to pull the trigger on international phone numbers and long codes. But I can tell you it's in the works, and we are probably going to make it happen here, hopefully within a month. We're trying our very best. Richard says, our porting moved the phone numbers ready for text? Yes, you can start porting your numbers inside TxTria too. I don't know, I can't even visit this page because that gives away identity of a bunch of you guys. There's probably already about 30 numbers that people have entered since we opened it a few days ago. But if you want to port in phone numbers, you want to click on this link right here, and you can start porting in your Twilio number. So what happens is the aggregator comes to us on Thursday. They download a list of all the numbers that need to be ported. They start provisioning them, and then from Friday night until about Monday morning, Tuesday morning, the following days, that number will go live. Porting does take a little bit more time versus off-netting a number. Off-netting means taking the SMS portion of a number, for example, like a landline of a business, use that portion, taking it for billing for SMS, while at the same time they can keep their billing and their voice carrier that they've always had. And I don't have to tell you about the benefits of bringing in landlines for your clients. One of the most the most terrific thing I can say about landlines is it's P2P. P2P. What is P2P? P2P is peer-to-peer texting. That's like you texting your wife, you texting your daughter, you texting your husband, whatever it may be. That's considered peer-to-peer texting. Now, everything that you've been doing for years with Twilio, that is called A2P. That's like an app or a program that is sending a text to a peered phone, which is like Keith's cell phone or my cell phone or Scott's cell phone. That is A2P. Landlines have similar deliverability and functionality like an 800 number, because now you're dealing with a real phone number. So even though it is A2P, through the networks, it is recognized as peer-to-peer texting. So they can get away with a little bit more because that long code is not a long code, it's an actual landline phone number. So let me go into the provision landline SMS here. So first thing you want to do is you want to verify the capability of your phone number. So I'm just going to come in here. This is my Google Voice number, so I'm going to verify the capability. It'll tell you here, yes, this number can be provisioned into TxTria as an SMS-enabled number. Now, I don't want to click on provision number now, because as soon as I click on it, within like 20 minutes, I can start using that number for texting inside TxTria. So I would ask none of you guys to put this number inside of your system, because you just totally like foobar my account. So please be respectful. But any number that you want to verify the capability, I'm just going to put in a bogus one here. I doubt that it'll, yep, even that number. So there's certain number combinations that it won't accept. There. So anything with this area code cannot be provisioned, or maybe it doesn't have enough digits. Verify capability. This number can, because it has 10 digits. So when you finally verify that it can be, if you get a yes here for the number landline you want to move over, click provision number now, and then it'll automatically put that into your managed numbers account. So in your managed number account here, you'll see there's different kinds of numbers. We have a ported long code. These are ported long codes. Local numbers, which are essentially long codes. Then we have toll-free numbers. And then coming down the line, you're going to see something else. It's going to be called SMS pools. So essentially, this is how an SMS pool works. Let's say we're using this phone number right here, and a customer texts in pizza to this phone number. Well, what happened is, in our pool of 1,000 phone numbers, there'll be 1,800 numbers. They'll receive a message back from the 800 number saying, if you'd like to subscribe, blah, 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 blah. What also happens is that number is permanently tied to that 800 number. So anytime you send a mass text from your campaign, it's going to always send that message from the same 800 number that they originally got the first message from. So there's always that association with that number. It's not going to be always random. It's going to be totally random per customer. What this allows us to do, it allows us to load balance the numbers so they don't get banned, but also increases the visibility of your SMSs because they get through, and they get through faster. To configure, most systems that we've already made, for example, EngageSnap, already have TxTria inside of it. The functionality is the same as Twilio with picking numbers and all that. But you gotta make sure you're gonna have your number in here first before you actually start adding numbers. It will look for numbers. It'll also automatically write the webhook URLs where that number is going to be parked and where it's going to be servicing the SMS. Many of you asked about sub-accounts. How do sub-accounts work? It's real simple. We did it a little bit different than Twilio does. You actually just create a client, something you've been very familiar with all of our product line. And then when you buy a number, simply just click on configure, and then you can either assign to it. You can also do it from the API, and then you can also make it assign it back and forth from admin to customer, or admin to client, client back to admin. Another feature here is the call forwarding. So let's say if this is my long code or my 800 number, any calls to the number, I can have it forwarded. I just put my phone number here and click set call forwarding. Either tonight or tomorrow, we're going to be adding a feature that every call that gets forwarded, we will record the conversation. So that is a work in progress. If you ever need to release a number that you don't want, just click on remove, And what happens is the number goes into a 10-day purgatory, and that allows you, in the event the client, let's say client left you, and you're like, well, I don't want to keep paying for your stuff. I don't want to keep paying for your phone number. I'm going to release your number. You release it, and 5 days later, he goes, I made a big mistake. I want to put everything back to where it was. Things are starting to work out now. Well, now you can come back here within 10 days and restore that number back into your pool of phone numbers. To buy a local number, click on the blue button here. Select the state that you want the phone number in. Give it a second to load. And what this does is this loads in rate centers, because this is something you don't see much with Twilio, but you can actually start regionalizing your phone numbers to match a certain city. So for example, Farmington, Michigan. I click on Farmington, it says the area code here is 248, and there's 9 available numbers. So I click on it, and here are the 9 available numbers. So we segment them off, not by area code, but by city. To buy a toll-free number, once your account is provisioned to use toll-free, just come in here. We have toll-free numbers that are 877, 888. We don't mess around with the 855, 833s, and these are the real looking 800 numbers that we offer our customers. But you guys should know too, these 800 numbers, they go pretty fast. They get eaten up. So if you guys ever want to set aside like a pool of 800 numbers, let us know. We can get those ordered. We just ordered for a client the other day. We just ordered 2,800 numbers. Within a day, the order was fulfilled on our end. Doesn't cost a dime. We had those numbers put into his TxTria account, and now they're starting to use that for SMS. So by number, port phone numbers, your release numbers will appear here on this page. If you want to restore, just click now. If you want to permanently release it, click on release now. The programmable SMS here. To start testing your numbers that you acquire, choose it from the list that you want to send from. Just put in the body of the message that you want to send. You can also send an MMS test, but it also shows you the example code that you can use if you guys are PHP coders and what you can expect. Keith, what is your number, sir? 404
424 442 9826.
Oh man, you just totally blew me up. 424
442
442
9826.
Well, if this number hasn't been released by my programmer, which I hope is not, Keith should get this message.
It's 424 for Gaitan. It's a vanity number.
Like I'm supposed to know where the digits lay on a keypad.
I'm just saying, I know those days are gone, but I used it when I was rolling in my set with my SAG card up in Hollywood, yo.
All right, so looking at the API, what happens is we have a perpetual queue that occurs because this is being sent from a long code. It goes into perpetual queue. Obviously, he's probably at the top of the list, so Keith, you should probably get your message here in a second. What will happen is within a second or two, this will update on his side on his SMS logs. Joe says, how do we use TxTria on Jason Bell Wrecking Ball software? Number one, Jason Bell doesn't own Wrecking Ball. I do.
Yeah, I was like, that was weird. Not only is it not Wrecking Ball anymore, it's called WooText SMS Gateway. But yes, TxTria is already included on your gateway. So what I'll do is I'll pause my screen here. And hello there, Keither.
Did you get it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Hello there, Keither.
So you see that the delay was probably what 10 seconds, 12 seconds?
Probably could have been less than that. I had that's my Google Voice number and I wasn't logged in. So.
Oh, I got you. So what we've done is we have this, like I said, it puts everything in a queue. If we have 100 people each sending 10,000, it doesn't put everybody in line. Like whoever sends it first gets the first 10,000 sends, and then it goes to the next. It's literally instant. So we are multi-threading all of our sends, whether it be from one person or 1,000 people, and no matter the size of send. The rate limit on 800 numbers, even though it is unlimited, we are rate limiting to 20 just because we want to protect your phone numbers. If you need higher rate limiting, let us know. And that only applies to toll-free numbers. So inside of WooText, aka formerly known as Wrecking Ball, also aka known as the Monster. Click one if you remember the Monster, guys. Who remembers the Monster? Put a one in the chat box.
Oh, I got it. I got some ones.
The Monster goes back to what, 2012 or 2011? I can't remember. That was a long time ago. The software has come a long way. All right, so inside of your WooText here, you're going to see TxTria numbers. And for information on TxTria, go here. You're going to put your SID and token. You can come in here and buy numbers. You can also view your existing numbers here. If you want to buy US Canadian toll-free numbers, there's a list there. If you want to buy US and Canadian local numbers, choose your state, Georgia, rate center, Atlanta, and then you can choose your Atlanta number as well. When you're done, click on buy. When you're done, just like the Twilio number, it appears down here, and you can also transfer those between accounts. Another thing you guys should know, and I'm sorry if I'm off a topic, guys. I know this is supposed to be a Engage Snap, Beacon Snap type of call, but I guess a lot of you are still using this software, which you should be because it's still one of the best softwares out there to send SMS. So inside of your packages now, there should be an option where you can actually only allow TxTria to be used. And you can also click this to force the customer to use their own TxTria account. So you can come in as the provider of the SMS service and say, hey, if you get your own TxTria account, you can send as much as you want. You pay for all the SMS, and we'll provide the service. I'll charge you a flat rate 30 months to use my system. And we also made that if Twilio too, if you're using Twilio, actually we did, it's only with TxTria. So it's a benefit you only get with TxTria. But where this really benefits the customer here, let me go into buy numbers, add a phone number. So your customer comes in here, because I have it set to use their own TxTria API credentials, they put their API credentials here. Otherwise, they come in here when they go to buy long codes, the number is going to be purchased from TxTria and not from Twilio because I had this set to TxTria. What about TxTria app to use with CollarSnap? Bob, I don't know if you've seen the message here for programmable voice. So if I go to voicemail accounts, I think it's voicemail. We have the advanced flows coming in April 2019 for TxTria phone numbers. We are building out the API now. We have the servers already in line. We have about 1,200 channels to accept incoming and outgoing calls. And when this is done, you're going to be able to do things with this that you can never do with Twilio. And if you guys are familiar with Twilio and how to code with Twilio, this is going to be much simple, more easier to understand and more easier to accomplish if you're a coder. And while we're inside of the inbox here, if you want to create a voicemail account, so if I click on this, so whatever my inbox number is, so let's say that my TxTria number is 444-555-6666. I choose my name, enter my 4-digit PIN, and then we have the option where we can have transcribed voicemails to our email and to the API. Do yes. You click on Create Now. What you do next, so it works just like any other voicemail system. There is a national voicemail setup and retrieval call line, or you can call the actual phone number that you added for the inbox. On first entry into your mailbox, you're going to be presented with a bot, to which mailbox it'll say, and then you enter the 10-digit TxTria voicemail number, and then your password. Your password is your PIN. Once you enter that, you get the full menu like you're really familiar with on your cell phone and how to set up a voicemail. For voice logs, they'll appear here. Unless you're using the API, then you can have all this stuff parked on your own server. This also has full reporting, bug reporting. So you click on this, if there's ever a bug, it'll let you know. All the coding that you see here is direct from the carriers. This is how the carriers translate a busy signal. So you see busy, busy, busy. When a call goes through, you can see the duration. You only get charged for 6-second increments of the actual communication back and forth. So if they're leaving a voicemail, that starts using up seconds. If somebody calls you and your phone is busy, that takes up 0 seconds. You don't get charged for that. And you don't get charged for full minutes. Twilio, if you have an incoming call on a Twilio number and that call was literally 12 seconds, you get charged for the full minute. We only charge you for the actual length of the call in 6-second increments. Voicemail accounts. I know there's another thing I wanted to show you guys here. Maybe it was under SIP. Nope, not under SIP. I'll have to check with the program, but there is a place. Oh, here you go. This is where you get your voicemails. See, the keys moving around the buttons. So if you want to check your voicemails, click on voicemails. And that one doesn't have any. Let me find one that has some voicemails in it. I think this one might. And then you can see the voicemails here in the length of the calls. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. End of call. So it works just like a regular voicemail system. In the API, it'll give you a URL to all the MP3s for the calls. So if you guys want to use the API to do that, so all this is parked on your own server, you can do that. But we're letting you come in here and actually perform all your voicemail activities in here if you want. Anything else I forget here? Runtime, if you guys are playing with the API and want to see the debugger, or if you want to see there's a reason why your SMS isn't working, always check your debugger. It'll tell you if you're out of funds. It'll tell you if your number is invalid. Any error that we could possibly think of, it'll notify you of. Any reason why your SMS or voice isn't working, we'll record it here. And obviously for our developer center, just click on this link right here. I'm going to go back to the pricing schedule. So like I said, once you add a funding source, these will be presented to you for you guys to upgrade. SMS costs. So if you just stick with just add your funding source and go on to replenish, it's 0.0045 per SMS outbound, and you can see all the pricing going across. Your first 3,000 SMS are free here on tier 2. Then it's 0.4 cents here. And then on tier 3, the first 6,000 are free. Then it's 0.3 cents from there forward. Just the pricing here, compare that to anybody, it's laughable.
Not a comparison. It's a destruction.
Dave says, can you set up SIP trunks? Yes, I will get more into that on another call. So we're still working on that. But you can right now point the SIP to an IP address, and then that way your voice system will take over the call. What is the short code for TxTria? We are setting that up still. That's 80888. My Woot help takes me to what we've been seeing a lot with Wrecking Ball, and you guys are doing new installations. Make sure when you set your URLs for your licensing, you put a / at the end of your install URL. That'll solve your problem. Since I updated Woot text, I get an error warning, prefetch, blah, 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 Boolean given.
How about
default menu bar. Okay, Michael, I've seen this error several times already, and my programmer has been looking for an instance of this. So send me via the support desk your URL so he can investigate, because he's assured me nothing has been wrong, but I have seen this twice with the default menu bar. file missing on an installation. Is there an affiliate program for TxTria? No, there isn't, because there's not much money to go around. The help desk inside of Beacon Snap is fine. Richardson says, is there a way in Engage Snap to quickly click a build to build a full demo of a directory without having to spend lots of time building like fake companies, images, and all that, so we can quickly create a demo page? Keith, that's more of a question for you. Do we have a way to...
Okay, there's a lot of templates, and you can just grab all, like, just make a directory and just throw all those templates into a directory fairly quickly in like 10 minutes. I have a directory. I have yet to have sold it because I haven't had time to pitch it really because I've been very busy. You're more than welcome to use this directory, because if I do sell it, I'll just rebuild it. So I can post that directory, which would be the Vista Village directory. And it's like, it's for a, well, I have two of them actually. There's a Vista Village and a Brew Crawl. I haven't pitched either one yet because both of them I need to pitch to the Chamber of Commerce, and I've just been swamped with Ed and family and other things that I haven't gone out and done my own like thing. But I can give you those directories if you want to use them as an example, because they're not, it's not going to affect any of my customers. If you guys want those, I can go grab the links right now and put them in the chat box. So stand by, I'll grab them and I'll put them in the chat box.
So when you guys create your TxTria account, make sure the first thing, your first order of business is to get your API credentials. Click on Issue Credentials. It'll put it in here for you. So that's what you use where our systems ask you for the SID and the auth token. And then when you get into the billing here, if you don't show any cards here, you're going to want to add a new credit card. Put your credit card in here, and you have the option. Your first card that you put in here is always going to be set as the primary funding source until you add further cards, and then you can swap your primary funding source back and forth depending on if you have more funds in here, or if you don't have the availability of funds in here, you can move your funding source. And then anytime you want to add funds, click on Add Funds, put in your amount, and it instantly adds the funds to your account. So let's talk about funding limits. So automatic funding occurs when your account reaches a threshold. So let's say my balance is $112. Let's say my threshold reached below 100. I can have it rebill my credit card $200 just by simply doing that. So I'm going to put that back so I don't waste my credit card. So I'll spend $20 when I hit $2. So you can set it as low as $2. In the event that this happens a lot, I've seen it with Twilio on some accounts that you guys came in and said, oh, my WooTex is broken, you guys suck, blah, 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 blah. And then we go in there and we get the truth. You funding source at Twilio was expired or something to that matter. But I know Twilio allows you to go at least negative $2. We have the same thing. If your credit card fails and we try to bill it, we're not going to keep trying to tap that credit card. Once you pass that threshold, we try once to take the money, and if we can't get it, your account goes down to negative $2, and then everything stops on your end. So always keep that in mind. Account, talk about API, your My Account page. So this is where you can see your account recharge history. Everything will appear here. And then any recurring charges will appear here as well. The recurring charge, what is a recurring charge? Recurring charge is when you lock in your rate. That's when you pay the price for these extra lower pricing on SMS and the phone numbers, and also the free texting every single month. Simply click on lock this rate, and then total bill today $19.99, recurring billing, and then you click on authorize. It puts you on recurring for that plan. If you happen to join this plan and you stop paying for it, you lose it forever. Sorry, guys. What we're doing is we're kind of setting the stage, letting you guys get some pricing, because we're getting approached by some pretty big companies that want to start using us for texting, and we don't want them to see this at all. So this will eventually all go away. So you're gonna want to take advantage of it, because we do not want these people that we're bringing on board to see what we're doing here. because we're I'm just going to tell you that I'm quoting them above this rate right here. What is the new account special for TxTria? As soon as you add a funding source, which will probably put like $20 in your account, this is going to be your default. So this is going to be your pricing. Just go to my SMS plan pricing. You can see everything, what your plan is currently at. And to upgrade it within 14 days, if you go back to the home page as an example, then it gives you these two options to upgrade right here. So these are the specials you want to take advantage of. Can you copy it to my account, Keith? That's from Richard Jones. Ed, you spoke.
Okay, I just posted 2 links in the chat box to everybody. The first one is to it's the City of Vista, which is a proposal to them. That one's very simple, just a directory, has a few templates in there. The second one that I posted was a more robust idea that I have that Ed and I have been working on that I think is almost to the brew crawl, where that one is it asks and prompts you on any Android device to save to home screen, so it becomes a PWA emulation with an icon. It requires you to register with a name. And the reason that we're doing that is so that as coupons are redeemed, when you go to that directory, it will label each coupon redeemed, redeemed, redeemed in the directory. So you know which coupons you've redeemed and which ones you haven't, so that you can go back and visit without having to actually open the coupon to see whether it's redeemed or not. It'll actually show you in the directory. So that second directory link that I sent is far more robust and been a work in progress with Ed, I, and the programmer to make that functionality work. But both of those links you guys can use those to your heart's extent, because I have not sold them. And if I do sell them, I will clone them and build them properly out for each business, because I need each business to opt in for the Chamber of Commerce to participate anyways. So if those work as demonstrations for you guys to show a directory that's simple, or a more complex directory that requires registration by name and it allows to be saved as a PWA, i.e. An app on a phone with an icon, you have both to demonstrate to your potential customers.
And I want to say too, Keith, I don't know if you've been spearheading it too, but I've been seeing a lot of changes in EngageSnap. I go in there one day, I can't find stuff, and it's been organized a little bit better. So that's an ongoing process. We're constantly working to improve everything. Plus, we're working on the app. I just want to make sure I get TxTria out to you guys. I want you guys to save some money. You're going to go to the link that I put inside the chat box, or you can go to TxTria.com and just simply click on the Join Now button. For those of you that are using Twilio with third-party providers, and that third-party provider could be a guru that has a piece of software that you're using and you want to save some money. So just go to Tell a Developer and put your information in here, the comment that you want to put to that developer, and then we'll send it to the developer. It's up to them to come to us to set up their account, get their free number, get their 100 free SMS every month. If they don't take action on it, just stay on them. Eventually they'll add it, because this is just going to grow with time. TxTria is going to be a household name here pretty soon. I can pretty much put a guarantee on that. Don't see the posting. You're going to want to look in the chat box. I'll put in the link again for TxTria. We do have to close this call up, Keith. Is there anything you want to close with?
Yeah, I hate MailChimp.
Oh yeah, let's get into that real quick. If you can make it under 2 minutes.
I don't even know where to begin, but let me put it this way.
I'll start it off.
I used one wrong word. I used one wrong word in the subject line. I used the word steroids, but I was not selling drugs.
And let's keep in mind, this is a draft. This is an email draft, not a send. This is a draft email he was creating.
This is a draft. I was creating a draft to talk about EngageSnap and what we've built and what we've completed. And I was using a phrase that Ed has used a lot and I've heard a lot that I thought was a great a great way to like re-engage with people that are used to Coupon Captain or Coupon Commander and gamification. So my subject line said gamification on steroids. That was my subject line.
And keep in mind,
the body,
he was just sending this to me as an example. He wanted me to see the actual body of the email. So he had to put some sort of subject line in there, even though it sounds spammy. He had to put a subject line in there to show me to get the test to go to me.
Yeah, because I'm getting Ed to approve and then give me the constructive criticism that I need to better the email that I was going to send out. And I sent the test draft to Ed. And because it had the word steroids in the subject line, MailChimp completely shut our account down, period. Zero tolerance,
and Keith
shut down, no questions asked. We've been fighting with them for a week to get it back up online, and they will not do it.
And Keith's got 16 clients that are pretty much sitting at purgatory waiting to send an email to their customer list, and they can't be done. So
Exactly.
those of you that are using MailChimp and think that they're going to be with you and have your back this whole way in your business venture, think again.
It's been a nightmare.
They'll stab you right in the back. So what we're going to do, John, we're going to let them go ahead and we're going to let them charge our card tomorrow. And then next week, you're going to be charging back 4 months of payments. How's that sound, John, if you're there?
Yeah, John's not here right now. He's detained, but yeah, I'll let him know.
Yeah, we're going to do a chargeback for at least 4 months. Why not 4 years? Screw them. Let's go for 4 years and see what we can get, because it's complete BS. All because, and they're like, well, you can't promote. And then I go through their entire dossier of regulations, and you can't sell drugs this and drugs that, or sell porn, and you can't sell sex, and you can't, human trafficking or whatever it is. And I'm like, I broke no rules. Well, you're selling steroids. I'm not selling steroids. I use the word steroids. You're taking it completely out of context and tone, but they won't budge. They will not budge. And Elena's been part of this, because the back and forth of the emails, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm just still flabbergasted, because I used one wrong word. They shut down our account after all these years. I can't believe it.
All right, guys.
I can't believe it.
We have to leave this call. You guys want to dump MailChimp or start planning on going elsewhere, try SendGrid, warm up an IP address, and you're good to go. That's it. So we'll see you on the DM call. The link is inside of the chat box. We're just doing a small Q&A at 8:15. I will see you there. I'll get this call ripped up and hopefully posted before the DM call. Thanks, Keith. Thanks, Elena. Thanks, John, wherever you are. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.